All right, continuing here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me move right along to this little tidbit. This is out of the London Telegraph. Headline, Secret EU Summit document shows first step in banking union. We have it blurbed at Infowars.com. Here is the full article. London Telegraph, exclusive. Exclusive, secret EU summit document shows first step to banking union. You can actually pull up our articles where we've called it that. It is a banking coup d'etat, total takeover designed to implode Europe. A classified draft of next week's EU summit conclusions is the first step on an emerging roadmap, that's a quote, to a banking union pooling debt via Eurobonds and political union via EU treaty change over the next 10 years. The text, published exclusively in the Daily Telegraph, is secret, restricted for eyes only of diplomats and officials preparing the 28 and 29 June European Council in Brussels. Most of the text, the annexed compact for growth and jobs, are deals on project bonds and other small-scale EU initiatives that Frans Koos Hollande is trumpeting in his 120 billion euro growth pact. The first, which, of course, would be loaned by the bankers out of fiat. You loan the bankers money, loan it back to you at interest. The first draft is relatively unconventional because the euro, bond, and banking union issues are currently all too sensitive to be committed to paper for officials. Other so-called non-papers are circulating at top secret level between the national capitals and Brussels. The difficult issues not included in the draft are PM items, Prime Minister, in the draft, other financial stability measures, and PEC report on EMU. Let me turn the page there. Yeah, just move it over to the right a little bit, because when it's cut off there on the edge, you can't really fully read that for people that are watching at prisonplanet.tv. Thank you. And then it just continues into the article, and I guess in the printout here, I didn't get the final page of that. Will you guys reprint this for me? Because I have InfoWars version and their version, but not the actual article. Here you go. I'll just give it to you. Or if you just put it on screen, I can probably just read it off the screen. This is breaking right now here on air. If we can just put this back up where I can read it, I'll just read it off air. That's why I was having to say that, so I can actually just read this. I'll be able to do that right here. But the point is that they're announcing that banks are going to basically run everything, and that the government of Europe is just an unelected bureaucracy with ceremonial organizations that are in place there. The EU Parliament is just ceremonial. They just sit there. And again, we'll put that article. Can you guys put the Telegraph back up on screen for me? I don't need it reprinted. If we can just put it back on screen, that'll just be unbelievably awesome. There it is. And, okay, fine. Just scroll it up. I can probably read it still. And then it goes over the whole map. There's a map right there, how the banks are going to run it. And the Council of Europe that's unelected. And then, of course, they have the Parliament. But, again, they don't have any power. Countries can send their minions, but the unelected bureaucrats are exempt from their own taxes and their own laws. It's all right there in the Council of Europe. And it says in the documents that the big banks, I remember reading it this morning, basically will completely rule everything, and it's a banking union, a government of, for, and by the banks. Then again, now The Economist magazine and others have openly bragged about this some. Translated from Brussels jargon, the PEC president of the European Council report will be Herman van Rompuy's preliminary text of the future of economic and monetary union. This will be circulated in sealed envelopes next week, because the slaves aren't allowed to see it, but it's been leaked. The separate text will be roadmap to banking union, polling debt via some kind of Eurobonds, we knew this was coming, and political union via EU treaty over the next 10 years. So go into debt to bail out the bankers predominantly. The media tells you you're doing this because you're lazy and that the debt's yours. Then you create Eurobonds to pay the bankers back interest because you bailed them out. That's how this works, if you can imagine that. It is unbelievably off the charts crazy.